All right, it's not a bad autumn day. Um, it's almost Halloween, but the weather's fairly nice. It's a little windy. We're gonna collect some black walnuts, and I'm gonna haul them. You should definitely check out my two videos on how I de-hulled my black walnut and how to get rid of that husk. So I used one with a cement mixer, and the other one I just used a sprayer. So yeah, that's one thing I'm going to do. But we're going to go over here, check out a few of those. We're going to grab a small bucket, and then we're going to try and stratify them this winter. So we're going to clean them off, get them in a little bit of dirt, put them in the fridge, and we'll see how that works out. I guarantee nothing when it comes to black walnut because I'm very inexperienced with it. I did steal one, however, that a squirrel may have put in, and it started to sprout in my dad's garden, so I took that out. I'll show you that one in a minute. But let's go get some walnuts. Alright, what I did do is I took a couple of the black walnuts here and I tossed them in the dirt here, and we'll see if they sprout up in this little thing. My mom's going to use that next year, so but for now, we'll see what happens. So right now I usually like doing this before the leaves fall. Usually the nuts are already on the ground. What I'm going to do is just step on them. Just step on them a little bit, crush that a little bit, see there? And then we'll pick them up and we'll get a little bucket full. And that's all we're gonna do. The easiest thing you could do though is just rake them. Rake them, put them into the tree line, let nature do its job. You gotta watch out for that jug loan. Black walnuts do not get along well with maple trees. They're probably okay with most nut trees, but definitely do your research before planting a black walnut next to another tree. It could kill it. So let's collect some of these walnuts and start the de-husking process. All right, that only took about 40 minutes. I mean, that's me like stepping on them. I'm not processing them like I used to. And you know, you could do this, if you're gonna collect a lot more than this, you would use a rake or some way to get them all up into a container in some sort, and then you'd have to process them, right? So as you can see, there's a lot of that meat and jug loan left on them, so we're gonna have to definitely rinse these off, and we'll probably let them soak for a day or two before I put them in the dirt and then in the fridge. And if you don't want this on your fingers, this stain, because this stuff makes a really good stain, if you wanted to make stain out of it, wear some gloves. Definitely have it. I don't really care. I mean, or it looks like nicotine anyways, doesn't matter. So we're gonna get these all washed up, and these are gonna be the ones that stratify for the winter. And I got a whole bucket here, and as you can see, I probably got a whole tree left all in the groove there, and if I really wanted to, I would just rake it, put it into the tree line, and maybe steal the sprouts in the spring, or the squirrels would eat them. And there's all the chickens around, all just doing their free run. All right, let's get back to cleaning these walnuts up. All right, after a good spray, I just filled up the bucket. I'm just gonna let them sit overnight, and I'll probably give them a little stir with a stick there once in a while. And don't forget, these ones that are floating, those are pretty much non-viable nuts, so probably won't waste our time on those. But right now, you can see all the earthworms. This is how good some of our dirt is. You probably can't see that when you get in front of there. But earthworms everywhere. As soon as I put the water on the grass, I never have to worry about bait if I'm going to go fishing. So we're going to let that sit and get on to doing something else. We got to hook up the pump, get it kind of ready to maybe fill up the small pond. It's a little dry right now, so we'll go back and take a look at that. All right, as you can see, my pond has hit its all-time low. It's pretty much at the bottom there. And if you get over here, you'll see that my lily, which is in a 12-inch milk crate, is pretty much showing now. So we want to try and save that, but what we're going to do is, before we start filling the pond, is I'm going to get in there. I got my rubber boots on. I got these from a garage sale, so I hope they work. And we're going to thin out a lot of these bulrushes before we start filling it up while we can. So that's what we're going to do, and then I'll show you what I had to do to get the pump all hooked up and put it in a new spot. And it's a new pump, so we'll get to see how that works today. Let's get going. So pulling them was just not an option. So I got in there with my little trusty saw and I just cut them all out real quick. I'm gonna get in there and clean out a bit more. It'll all grow back next year, but this was getting out of control. So halfway there, I'll clean her up the rest of the way and I'll show you that, and then we'll get on to filling the pond. All right, it's one hell of a hatchet job. I'll come back and I'll clean this up, put this in my composter. But I didn't touch my lilies right here, and I left some bulrushes over there. And I think I have some kind of wild bamboo over there too, but I'm not sure what kind of grass that is, but it's going hella high. But anyways, you can see how low my water is. I almost stepped on a couple of big fish. At one point or another, I'm gonna have to grab them and maybe toss them into the bigger pond. But now we're gonna get down there and check out the pump. All right, we're down here to the crossing. This is where the crossing is. So my pump was originally just over here. There's another little spot there. We tried to dig out a little bit to get as deep as we could, but we're hitting bedrock. So I came over here and I was following the creek a little bit, the runoff. And you can see I had to cut in a little bit, get rid of some of these thorn bushes, which are just absolutely everywhere. I hope I don't puncture my hose here, but yeah. So we come down here and I dropped it off, the pump I mean, and it's still cleared out to here. Now what happened here is there's like a small little waterfall, and it creates a lot more water, and there's a nice little pond or pool right there. So that should be good enough to be able to get this thing running. So let's get some gas in her, check the oil, and start her up. We'll go check her out at the pond, see how she's flowing. All right, we got her all started, primed and everything, so we're gonna go up and see how she's doing. All right, I got a nice good flow coming out here right now. The fish are gonna start loving it in a minute, and I'll take another shot if I can see them. They usually come up to the surface where the spray is, either to get the oxygen or to get the bugs or whatever it is that I'm loosening up. But yeah, she's got a good flow. A little bit bigger gas tank, so we're gonna let her run. And right now what we're gonna do is a deer came into my food forest. How deer he scratched up one of my cherry trees, so we're gonna take care of that, and I'll show you some ways we can prevent them from coming in, or at least deterring them. All right, sorry about the noise. That's the pump just filling up that pond for me. Got to do it one more time at least, because those it was just too dry. I'd lose all my fish. Not that it would matter too much, but I mean, hey, I'm not that cruel. So we'll fill it up and we'll let the winter take care of the rest of it. So here we're at my cherry tree, and you notice we got this like up and down swipe type thing. So I'm assuming this was a deer, and a deer went up and just kind of scraped its antlers on it or its head or something and opened it up, because I don't know anything else that would go up and down motion. So hopefully this will all heal over. I do have some connection of the xylem on the other side, so geez, I just don't know. It's going to be a iffy one on that. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to cover it right now with this, give it a little protection from anything, so a little deterrent. I'll try to stretch that out a little bit, maybe move it up over the protected area anyways. And then I have another little project, so let's go take a look at this. So I have a bunch of old CDs, and they're mostly good for birds, but that reflectiveness. So we're just gonna string them to a couple of these trees down here, and then when it comes down and it hits the light, even at nighttime when it hits a little bit of light, it's gonna flash a little and it's gonna startle them a bit, maybe keep them away. I also, believe it or not, I peed on my trees, so I gotta mark my territory. So here we go here. So yeah, I'll just show you this little plum here. This thing here died last year and it had a sprout on the side of it, so now I got a new plum tree growing. It's doing okay. We'll see how it makes out in the end. But yeah, let's get to hanging some of these, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, so you can see I just hung them. Again, sorry about the noise. I got to make that pump run, otherwise I won't fill up that pond. So, but yeah, just a couple of spots where they might be coming up, which is in and around here. So I put one on each one of these trees. If they're really daring, they'll come up and they'll eat the pear. But I think they were coming up from over here. So here's the cherry, so I threw one right on that one. Then I put one over here on this walnut. This is where I originally had my pump, but it just doesn't flow enough for that pump. So But I think they've been coming up here. You see they look like they've been bedding down right here. It's all that stuff squished down. Now, only usually a deer does that, so yeah. So that's what I did. I'm gonna go find something else to do. Well, it's filling up. I got a few things I have to do, including cutting off a dead branch on one of my pears, so I'm gonna go take care of that right away so I don't forget it in the winter, because pruning will be coming up in a month or two, and I still got to do my peach leaf curl spray as soon as the leaves come off. So let's get back to work. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is it's a little too high for me, so I think what I'm gonna do is wait till the winter time, because this whole branch right along here is all kind of dead. You can see it's I mean, I know it looks like it's dying because it's fall, but it was dead during the summer too. So I might just come in and do a 1/3 prune, and I'll just take off part of that limb, do a very light prune on some of these sprouts, and that's all I'm going to do to this tree, because it's I really gave it it's all last year when I did a hard prune on this particular one. So we want to let some growth come back, and then we'll maybe come back and cut it again the year after. Again, you don't have to do everything all in one year. Just do a little bit at a time. Don't be intimidated. Just take out the ones that are getting in the way and the dead stuff, and you'll do just fine. Let's get on to something else. All right, we're going to take a look into the wonderful box of rooting here. And these grapes have been in here a little too long. I have I'm pretty sure this one here is a cold hardy kiwi, and I'm pretty sure these are blackberry. Now they're still alive, so I'm going to try and plant them up. I'm going to go looking for roots in here. I'm definitely going to get some of these grapes in, but let's try and get these ones in first, and then we'll see what we got going on, because we want to be able to put in our winter cuttings too, so we'll give them another try this year. All right, so this is that one little blackberry. I believe it's a blackberry. We got a little bit of roots in there, see? So if they last about a month and they still got green leaves, they're pretty good. By the way, I had way more success cutting the leaf in half, preventing it from losing its moisture. So I don't know if that's like the thing to do, but that's what I'll probably be doing from now on. All right, so I'm all done. I probably got what I got there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, maybe 13, 14. I think there's 13 Concord grapes, and I got 3 of the little sticks there. One is a blackberry, one is a cold hardy kiwi, which is that little curly one over there, and the other one is a mystery one. But I also wanted to show you, I don't know if I showed this in my other videos, that I was able to pick up 6 more dwarf cherries. So they're Cupids, Romeos, and Juliets. And it's even budding right now, which is not a good thing. I get a little fruit on there starting to go. But I picked them up for 10 bucks. You know, this is the time to go out there and find out where all the sales are and really get half price on pretty much everything. I might even go back next week and grab even another 6 more. We'll just see how it goes. But the Ed Chardulos at Mount Hope, they're on sale right now, 10 bucks for any fruit bush. So get your fruit bushes. Now I'm just going to go take care of the walnuts, and then we'll be done for the weekend. But let's get back there and get them into some sphagnum moss. All right, so I had these walnuts soaking overnight, and as you can see, it's the you can see how dark the water stain would be. So now we're just going to kick it over, and then we're going to get some sphagnum moss, and we're going to get these ready for stratification. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Grab a little sphagnum moss here, sphagnum peat moss, and we're just going to cut the bag open right there. Yeah, I'll be taking this out gently, a handful at a time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer it like a cake. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, the peat moss, and then I'm going to throw a whole bunch of these on there, and then another layer, another layer, another layer. And then I'm going to take it home. I'm going to put it in the fridge. I'm going to let it sit there for about 3 to 4 months, and then we'll see what happens. Be patient. When it comes to stratification, you definitely got to be patient. Some take a lot longer than others. Some don't. This can go up to about a year before they actually sprout, but we're hoping for less than that. So let's get that started, get it all up in there, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done, because it's basically just a little cake with nuts and dirt in there. So let's get going. Okay, like I said, it's just like a cake. There's a layer of dirt, layer of nuts, layer of dirt, layer of nuts, layer of dirt. And we'll just put the lid on, and if I have to, I might have to add a little bit of moisture to this. It's a little dry, but we're gonna get it into the fridge and let it sit for a little while. And that's it. And I'll show you what I did with the other ones that I had left over. Okay, so I couldn't put the entire bucket into that little container, but I will take that one home, put it in the fridge, like I said, and I'll probably put it. Well, I know I did it at the end of October, so I don't really have to mark it, but you should if you want to get into the habit of that. And the other ones I just took out, I put some peat moss in the rest of that bucket there, shifted it around a little bit, adds a little water, and I'm just going to let nature take its course. I put a bunch of drainage holes on the bottom of that, and I put it right next to my pawpaws. So hopefully these pawpaws hang in there. Every time I come over here, there's some kind of hole dug in them, and it's just starting to irritate me. I need to have like a prison for plants. Anyways, that's it for this week. Hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe and tell your friends, share, and we'll see you next week, and we'll get back to more chores, because there's definitely more things that have to be done, and I'm just in the middle of getting all this winterized stuff together and filling up the pond, and then I'll have to put the pump away and all that. So we'll see you next week, and we'll get some more chores going.